Today's episode, we're going to talk about burnout. Good morning. It's a beautiful Thursday morning here in Joliet, Illinois, and as you can see, the studio is a bit stripped down. You can't see here. Let me show you. Just trust me. We are currently minus a floor, so things are sounding a lot more live in here. The concrete literally reflects everything right back. It sounds like a chapel. Now, if you're a more sound-oriented person, you're probably wondering what we're going to do about this. And the short answer is nothing. That's not entirely true. I'm just hoping that a floor makes a return sometime soon. But, in the meantime, I will show you how I'd normally treat a room. Now, the advantages of this room are, of course, the drop tile ceiling. The drop tile ceiling provides an air gap between the panels and the floor above, so sound can pass through and be absorbed above instead of reflecting off the panels and coming back. The disadvantages of this room are that it's square, which means there's 4 90-degree corners. Now, there is an opening by the stairs, and the stairs are carpeted, which is great. But that leaves us with these sharp corners under the speakers. The way to deal with this is to put some kind of absorption or foam in the corners, and I'll put an example somewhere here on the screen. Now, this allows the low frequencies to be absorbed so they don't build up and multiply, and then you get a gross, over-exaggerated low end. After dealing with the corners, the next thing to tackle is speaker placement. So you want your speakers a little bit off the back wall so things don't reflect off and multiply coming out forward. Now, if you have ported speakers, you're going to have to deal with a rear port, which is going to give you a port frequency or a resonant frequency. And you're going to have to find that, but that's a different story. You generally want your speakers in an equilateral triangle with you as one of the points. This makes sure that the sound coming out of each speaker hits you at the same time so you don't hear any phase issues or anything. Now, a good trick to use when finding first points of reflection on the wall from your speakers is to take a mirror or a phone and just drag it along the wall, even with your speakers, until you can see the cone of the opposite speaker in the mirror. Now, that's your first point of reflection on the wall, and you can hang a piece of foam or absorption there. Last but not least, the final thing to consider is the speakers themselves. Now, the reason I put this last is because although the speakers are important, the sound of the room should be held above the sound of the speakers. You want to buy good speakers, but you can buy a $1,000 pair of speakers. If you put them in a poorly treated room, you're going to be pretty disappointed. Just something to consider. Okie dokie, so on tap for this morning is unfortunately a lot of homework and another mix course. Womp. After that, I'm going to try to get a head start on the 1-hour mix series, which is coming out Monday, 9 a.m. Put it in your calendar. And hopefully, if I have a little extra time tonight, I'll squeeze in some post-production on another song. Keep moving through the list. We'll see.
There's nothing left to be scared of. Not when you're with me.
Here's the deal. Obviously, I'm a huge supporter of self-edumacation. The reason being is it helps me fight off any kind of burnout. If you've done anything for any length of time, you've probably experienced some form of burnout. And it can happen a couple different ways. Maybe you lack motivation and you don't do anything, or maybe you do way too much and you work way too hard. Now, the hyperactivity aspect we covered last week when we talked about margin, we talked a little bit about buffer, so definitely go back and check that out. But the laziness aspect, it could just be as simple as making a to-do list. I have a little paper planner that I list out the tasks I want to get done for each day. And if you want to get into the more mental aspects of it, it always helps to write things that maybe you're grateful for or something you're really pumped about doing that day. For me, it just always helps to plan out my day the night before. Because as the old saying goes, if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. Okie dokie, moving on. We're going to start shooting the beginning of the series that's coming out Monday. Again, it's the 1-hour mix series. And to choose the song, we cut up a bunch of our songs, we wrote them on paper, we put them in a small metal bowl, and we're going to choose them at random here. So Thing, thank you. This is empty. All right, so the random song of choice is Jane. I'm gonna start shooting a quick intro video here and then we'll keep plugging along. Hey guys, Colin here from the Sumthins and welcome to video 1 of the 1 hour mix series. Today we're gonna be talking about volume, panning, and general mix preparation. All right, it's almost 10 o'clock now. We're gonna try and squeeze in a little bit of tracking on one more song on the list. It's called Milton Moon. We'll probably track lead guitar and then probably some percussion to fill everything out. And we'll leave you with a sneak peek, but we gotta get to work.
I won't ever leave your side. How can it be too soon if we mean it? Sometimes I talk to myself. 'Cause a number of days can match the weight of the ways we've come.
So we threw in a couple extra guitars, a lead guitar and another rhythm guitar in the bridge. I think we're gonna call the night here and the episode as well. So we will leave you with a sneak peek of the song here. We're just gonna do the instrumental bridge into the outro and we'll see you next week.